What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Three in the Key podcast. I'm your host for today. I'm Ben, and I'm joined here by Andrew and Arnav. Guys, say what's up.
What's up, boys?
Everyone, how's it going?
So for today's podcast, we'll be going over or talking about our predictions and guesses for the NBA awards, which are coming up. We have the Rookie of the Year award, Most Improved, Defensive Player of the Year, Coach of the Year, and MVP. So should be good. So let's get right into it to start.
Are we also doing the All-NBA teams?
Not this episode. We're not doing the All-NBA teams, but future episode we probably will.
Okay.
Andrew, would you like to start with the Rookie of the Year award?
Yeah, for my pick.
Well, first say the candidates and then, yeah.
Okay, before I start, this is kind of important, and I know we're a little late on this, but that's simply because our podcast has been created late. I know a lot of racial stuff has been happening in the world recently, and I just want to address that Black Lives Matter, and if you disagree with that sentiment, then don't watch our podcast.
Yeah.
Just like throwing that out there for further reference. Anyway, enough with that. Candidates for Rookie of the Year, there really aren't three. It's mostly just Zion or Ja, and if Ja only played 20 games this season, I would pick Zion, but Ja has played the whole year, and the Grizzlies are the 8th seed, which is great, which is much better than I expected. I expected them to be the 14th or 15th seed in the West. I expected them to be really bad because I wasn't so sure about Ja. He was like really 50-50 for me.
Mm-hmm.
But he's been great, so I'm picking Ja. He's averaged, 18 and 7 this year on good shooting from three. He's been all right. Has been nothing special.
A walking highlight reel, really.
He's a human highlight film.
That's
shout out Dominique Wilkins. Yeah, he's been great this year. He's shooting almost 50% from the field and 36% from three. He's been great, and the Grizzlies have been great, and I'm really excited to see what he can do in the future. Him and Triple J. So yeah, he's my pick, and I really think that should be unanimous. I mean, if Ja,
I would agree,
I feel like Zion should barely even qualify.
19 games?
19.
He played well, but
he played so well.
It would be unfair.
Okay,
so now, what do you think?
If you think of the 8 games that they're gonna play for that 8 seed, there could be something big. Like, say Zion goes off, say 35.
No,
if he averages 30.
Yeah, if he averages 30 and he gets his team into the playoffs,
he could average.
I think he could actually have a chance for that.
He could average a 40-point triple-double, and I still wouldn't give it to him.
I would.
Because Ja's done it
He's deserved it more,
a whole season.
But yeah, definitely I'm taking Ja.
And the Grizzlies exceeded expectations. I think
Definitely.
A lot of us
he
said
carried his team.
Yeah. Well, I disagree with that. Do you want to get into a fight about the Grizzlies? They have
Sure.
This is not the time.
Get this. They have a player that shoots 7 threes a game as a 6'10" power forward in Jaren Jackson. They have a near 20 and 10 in Jonas Valanciunas, and then they have great role players like D'Anthony Melton and Dylan Brooks. That is
I wouldn't call them great, but
Dylan Brooks is averaging 15 points this year.
No.
D'Anthony Melton.
Not
Ja,
Dylan Brooks, but
nothing.
D'Anthony Melton, I wouldn't call a great role player.
It's all right.
Yeah. Okay, so for my pick for Rookie of the Year, obviously Ja deserves it more in my opinion. I don't even think there's a way Zion could get it, but yeah. So unrelated to Rookie of the Year, who do you guys think? I think this may have been a hot take from Arnav's Instagram. I'm not sure if this is the exact thing, but who do you think will become the better player out of those two?
Definitely Zion.
In their entire career.
Definitely Zion.
That's a good question. The thing is, I almost said if there's no injuries, then I'm picking Zion, but
I would agree. But to me, he seems like a guy who's going to be injured a lot because of the way he plays. He's big. Yeah. He's strong. He's beefy.
Yes,
he's jumping up and landing on his joints. I personally, honestly, with no injuries, Zion, but I would not be surprised seeing Ja just being that because he's really good in it. But I think
but the
Zion's
problem
gonna be a little bit
is
injury-prone.
Jaw also could get hurt.
Yes,
Yeah,
I
Like, he
he's
gets
super
really
lanky.
high up
They're
for a
both
180
they,
pound
they are both
guard.
the way they play really risks them towards injuries, both of them. But no injuries, definitely Zion. But I think Zion will be more injured.
Possibly talented. I don't even know.
It's hard to say right now, though.
His ceiling is really up in the air. Like, we have no idea how good Zion can be. Like, Zion has an infinitely higher.
We haven't really seen a player like him, except for like college Blake Griffin was similar.
Yeah.
But I think Zion even has.
He's like a combination of Charles Barkley and Blake Griffin.
But guys, I have a question.
Yeah.
Do you think Ja could show like some glimpses of like LeBron potential? Like, because you remember like when LeBron just came into the league, he was like pretty lanky and a lot smaller. But if Ja
LeBron
puts
was
on
still
like that
260 pounds when he entered the league. You know that,
Okay.
right? He was not small.
I don't think that stat is true, Andrew. He was not 260 when he
it was definitely not 260.
I don't think he's 260 now.
Yeah, honestly.
He was 240 pounds in his rookie year.
Okay.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Okay, he looked little, but that's only because now LeBron James is a big boy.
Yeah. Okay, well,
10
say if
pounds
Ja
heavier.
puts on a lot more weight and a lot more muscle, do you think he could do you think that would make him better than
I
Zion?
think his ceiling is Russell Westbrook, but winning.
Yeah,
I think his ceiling is a top 50, 30 player of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Russell Westbrook is a top 30 player of all time, probably.
So should we move to the
Like,
next
crazy ceiling.
award?
He won't.
So the next award is Most Improved Player. We have 3 candidates for this. Brandon Ingram, Bam Adebayo, and Devontae Graham. So
Siakam.
I'm not giving it to Devontae Graham because he's a second-year player. Although he's really improved.
His stats, though, like when
his stats are great, but he's shooting 38% from the field, and he other than being a great 3-point shooter and carrying the Hornets, he really is not he really hasn't improved that much. Like, when you watch Ingram, when you watch Siakam, when you watch Adebayo has become the perfect modern big.
Siakam's not going to get back-to-back. I love him, but it's not going to happen.
Yeah, I would say Siakam's my third pick because, I mean, first of all, it's just crazy that he really – I don't necessarily think he's improved as much. Like, he's improved his shooting, like, marginally, but he hasn't, like, taken the jump that Ingram or Adebayo have taken. Like, I think it was because they had Kawhi Leonard last year, and that tends to, hold back your stats.
Yeah.
Also, same thing with Brandon Ingram and LeBron James, He was on his team. That's why he probably wasn't averaging as much as he was. And especially, when Zion came back, his stats, I think they lowered, right? For sure.
So for me, you want to keep – okay. For me, I probably Brandon Ingram, just like now averaging 24 points and last year only averaging
he's grown a lot as an
18, but like still it's still a jump for a player like that. He's an all-star player. I think they'll probably give it to him. I'm not going to rule Devontae out though because of the fact that his stats have improved so much, but I do agree with you in the fact that they don't want to give it to second-year players because it's kind of like usually second-year players always make a jump. But this is a pretty big one.
It's a pretty big jump for a former second-round pick.
I definitely think Bam could win it too because he's also an all-star. So for me, I don't think I can make a pick. I think it's going to be close, and I'm very interested to see who wins.
I think Ingram has improved his stats and his offensive game the most. But Bam has become so well-rounded on both sides.
Yeah.
I mean, other than shooting the ball, he's now a lob threat. He's a great post presence. He's an awesome defender. He's one of the best passing big men in the NBA. He really does it all. He's a winning player, and he's gotten a lot better across the board. So I think I might give it to him. Though Ingram's numbers look better, the Heat have been a much better team than.
Yeah,
exactly.
I think
that was my point.
I think I'm gonna pick Bam.
Yeah.
Even though he's not as exciting as Ingram, Ingram's been great, and I love him, and I think he's going to be.
I mean, it is more impressive to be a starter in the West, especially at the forward position, than a center in the East. But still,
even still, like
the jump
he's an all-star. He's an all-star in his third year. Like we expected Markelle Fultz to be an all-star in his third year, and now how the turns table.
Nav, have you given your pick yet or no?
No. So I'm gonna agree with Andrew with the Bam Adebayo because I definitely see how it's a big jump with Brandon Ingram, but it's because I feel like it's because he moved from I don't think his skill has made a big jump because I think he would be averaging the same stuff last year with LeBron, if LeBron was never on the team.
Right, and see, that can be evidenced by the fact that at the end of last year, before he got hurt, he was averaging 27 points a game for a stretch of 3 weeks.
Yeah.
He showed that he could do this.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I agree because Bam has he's taken the jump from a very good role player to now an incredibly important all-star.
Yeah. So it sounds like we're gonna pick Bam.
He would not even be a 5 seed without Bam Adebayo.
Yeah.
Next award, Defensive Player of the Year. Pretty important one. So our candidates are Rudy Gobert, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Anthony Davis. What do you guys think?
That's tough.
Okay. Also, just want to say Jason Tatum. I mean, I wouldn't say he's most improved, but on defense, he's taken a massive leap to an all-defensive guy.
So if you had to combine the two last awards, you would call him the most improved defensive player of the year.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, sure. Because he is now a lockdown defender. He is awesome. He could make an all-defensive team.
Okay, so
anyway,
Rudy Gobert, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Anthony Davis.
Okay, I'll start this one off. It's pretty clear that you're gonna have to go with Giannis. He's been he's been dropping big numbers, big blocks. You can't really. And he's been just stopping everybody.
To do with defense are now. If he averages 30 points, that doesn't help his Defensive Player of the Year case.
That's true. But yeah, he's just good on both ends. Amazing on both ends. I feel like he's gonna win MVP and Defensive Player of the Year. I'm just gonna take Giannis.
Can't you say Kendrick Nunn was the MVP or something?
What? When?
No, what? Well, you said something stupid about the Heat last week. I don't remember.
Something about they're making the finals. I don't know.
Oh yeah, that kind of stuff.
Just some casual stuff.
Also, last week you said that Chris Middleton didn't deserve to be an all-star, and he only made the all-star team because he played with Giannis.
He hasn't even touched a ball.
He does. He averages 21 points a game. Let me riddle you this. If it were so easy for him to make the all-star team and he only made it because of Giannis, then why didn't Dante DiVincenzo, Eric Bledsoe, and Brook Lopez all also average 20 points a game? Because what you're saying is anyone on that team could have averaged 20 points.
Okay, Andrew, you're getting a little bit off track here.
Maybe they didn't. Anyway, but that's just me getting mad at you for not liking Chris Middleton.
If I was trying to be funny, I think I'd pick Rudy Gobert because he shut down the entire league. But in all seriousness,
that's a fair point.
In all seriousness,
he blocked 60.
For me, I don't really think Rudy Gobert is going to get it just because he's got the last couple of years and he took a little bit of a dip this year. So for me, it's between Giannis and AD. I don't know if I could pick between them. I mean, AD was pretty good this year. But
for the Lakers.
Just Giannis, just his athleticism just gives him that edge. So if I had to pick one, I'd probably pick Giannis, but I think it's going to be close. What about you, Drew?
So I don't think they're going to pick Rudy for 2 reasons. And the first is that I don't think he deserves it. And the second is even if he deserves it, voter fatigue exists. And because of that, they're going to be like, oh, my God, we've given it to this guy 2 years in a row. We're so sick of him winning it. Let's just give it to someone else. Because that happens a lot.
Michael Jordan could have won MVP every single year.
Yeah, he could have. But he didn't because voter fatigue. And I think Giannis makes – so if it's between AD and Giannis, I think Giannis makes a much bigger impact than Anthony Davis does. He's more important to the Bucks on defense than Anthony Davis is to the Lakers. Even though the Lakers probably have a better overall – or even though the Bucks have a better overall defensive team, he's still that good that he makes such a big impact.
Yeah.
So I pick Giannis, and I also think he's going to win MVP, which is kind of crazy. His ability to guard 1 through 5, his ability to run in transition and get a big time block. He's really strong. He's just a great. He's just like perfect.
He's just a great player.
He's a freak of nature.
So we all pick the freak. So the next award is the Coach of the Year.
Before we go to the Coach of the Year, I have a hot take. Do you guys think that Anthony Davis could be the modern day Scottie Pippen to LeBron James?
No, because they're two completely different players. Are you stupid? You're so stupid.
I know, but he's carrying. He's carrying.
In the terms of
Scottie Pippen to LeBron's Michael Jordan. Well, here's why that couldn't work, and it's one word, and that's age. So LeBron's going to retire in, 5-6 years?
Yeah.
By then, Anthony Davis will probably be in the end of his prime. He'll basically be handing the keys to AD. Or he'll have handed the keys to AD 2 years before he's retired. In 1 or 2 years, AD will be much better than LeBron. Because LeBron's probably not going to get much better than he is now. He's probably only going to go backwards.
Yeah.
So now we can go to the Coach of the Year?
Yeah.
No more hot takes? Okay. So the candidates for Coach of the Year, just got these off of the internet. You may disagree. There's 4 of them. Nick Nurse from the Toronto Raptors, Nate McMillan from the Indiana Pacers, Mike Budenholzer from the Bucks, and Eric Spoelstra from the Heat. What do you guys think?
I'm taking the Raptors. Nick Nurse. Yeah.
I agree.
I think defensively, I would definitely take Nick Nurse. He's the best
defensive coach of the year, Andrew. You like just mashing awards together.
I do. It's my thing. But no, if I'm being honest, I think I'd pick Jim Boylan because he's ruined the Bulls. Just kidding. Jim Boylan's the worst coach of all time. But if I'm being serious, I think I'd pick Eric Spoelstra, but I think Nick Nurse comes in a close second.
For me, it's Nick Nurse just because taking that team who had arguably the best player in the world on their team to the 2nd seed. Like, if you go back and watch all those talk shows and shows predicting what the NBA would look like this season, Raptors were never top 5 in the East. Some people had them out of the playoffs. And this guy, Nick Nurse, coached them all the way to the 2nd seed. That's why he's the coach of the year. And I definitely think it's going to happen. So that's my
I 100% agree with you, Ben.
Hold on. I might if I don't talk up the Heat enough, I'll probably just convince myself that it's Nick Nurse. Also, I think Brad Stevens is a good candidate, even though I don't think he'll win it because he.
But they weren't doing as well as people. I mean, what are they?
They exceeded my expectations.
And people thought they'd be the 2 seed, but
no, I don't. I thought the Sixers would be the 1 or 2 seed. They vastly under.
Well, they're not. Yeah.
Yeah, because they have 5 players in their starting lineup that can't shoot. Yeah, so I think Brad Stevens is a good candidate, but I just don't think he's going to win it because he hasn't done anything that the other guys haven't done. And I picked Eric Spoelstra because I think he's done well with his rotations. He's been able to take 2 rookies, and Kendrick Nunn and Tyler Hero, and turn them into big-time players for this team. And he's made a great system and a great defense with Bam Adebayo. He's basically handed Jimmy the keys to leading this team. He's built a great team, but I don't think that's all Eric Spoelstra. That's also the magic of Pat Riley, right? Mm-hmm. And the other thing is he simply hasn't done as well. Like, he's done really well, but Nick Nurse has quite simply just done better.
So
Like,
you're
Yeah.
picking
Eric, I'm deciding Nick Nurse because
Alright.
yes, Eric Spoelstra has done well with his rookies.
and he's a great
Terrence Davis, who went undrafted into an 11-point per game great 3-and-D player. We took Rondé Hollis Jefferson, an all-right role player, and made him into a great defender and an important piece.
Hustle Jefferson.
Where he's a great defender. We took Pascal Siakam. We made him into a bona fide star. Like, we have done so well with this team. Like, we have vastly exceeded most expectations.
Definitely.
So, yeah, I
cutting
think I'm
out just a little bit.
picking Nick Nurse. But this is a good race. There have been a lot of teams that have exceeded expectations. A lot of coaches that have done great this year. Nick Millen is a
So
good
Nick Nurse is our picks for Coach of the Year. And the last award, MVP, LeBron, Giannis. Who do you call
Okay.
that?
Or Luka.
No, Luka's not in the conversation anymore.
He was at the start of the year. But yeah, I think he's
Yeah.
out too.
But then seeding happened.
For me, it's a no-brainer, really.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer for me as well. Like, it's a
Same.
no-brainer.
It was really close, but I think it's going to be Giannis still.
Definitely.
Even
Yeah.
though LeBron outscored Kawhi and Giannis in the weekend, he played them both in the last
Doesn't matter.
before the
It's one game. It's only a
2
couple
games, but yeah. So Giannis for me. What do you guys?
I'm just
I
trying
agree.
to find his PER because at the start of the year, remember he was on pace to have the best PER in NBA history.
Mm-hmm.
Did that hold up?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
So everyone, after we are done talking about the MVP, we'll move on to hot takes from fans and
Yeah.
just hot takes from us. Just letting you know. So, Nav, you got Giannis as well?
Yep.
All right. And you got anything else to say, or do you want to move on to hot takes?
No. I have a little bit to say on Giannis. And
All
so
right.
anyone that thinks LeBron should win MVP because he's old, I could just say Giannis is so young, and it's so impressive that he's doing it at this age. So really, that's a double-edged sword. And Giannis has just been better in every way, like far and away. He has a much better PER. He has much better scoring numbers. He still has good assist numbers for a 6'11" power forward. He's just had a incredible season. Like, he's averaging 30 and 14 on a team that doesn't have a second star. Like, Chris Middleton, as much as I love him and as much as I think he deserves to be an all-star, he is not Anthony Davis, for God's sake. He doesn't have a target on his team that he can go to consistently to carry the offensive load if he's having an off night. Like, he has a bunch of guys that can do well, but they're inconsistent. Like, as a unit, they tend to be inconsistent.
Yeah.
So to me, he's just had an impossibly good year, and I'm picking him in a landslide.
All right. So hot takes time. Arnav, do you have any hot takes from Instagram, or do you want me to start it off?
You can start it off.
All right. So this hot take coming in from Instagram, one of our fans, his name is Cameron. His take is Giannis to Toronto.
In 2021?
2021, Giannis to Toronto.
I don't see it.
You don't see it?
No.
I think it's a perfectly reasonable scenario, but there's a full year before that season even begins.
And then also,
The Bucks could win the championship this year. That's
Yeah,
it.
if they do well, I don't think so, but there is a possibility of it.
And Toronto could not re-sign any of their guys, and they could free fall. A lot could happen in a year. A lot.
I agree. But, I mean, obviously, we hope Giannis comes to Toronto, but
we do.
for me, I think
I want him to go to the
it's
Jazz.
possible, but
And shut up with your Jazz rubbish. Stupid. It's really stupid.
All right. So the next take coming in from Marcus. LeBron James is the best basketball player to ever play the game.
No.
I think he's not as accomplished as MJ, but I think as a talent,
Yeah.
I think he's done more. He's done more with less, which I think is,
never mind. He is a better player than. I feel like he's a
Talent,
better basketball player than MJ.
Is better.
I think MJ is better as a talent.
But like overall player, LeBron.
Overall, in every
body,
aspect.
the athleticism.
Yeah, his ability, his playmaking, his 3-point shooting, which yes isn't great for a modern day superstar, but I mean still, come on, MJ is not as. But I mean, I guess that's era specific, right? Like MJ played in a different time. Like for his time, MJ was revolutionary, and for our time, LeBron is revolutionary, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
it's hard for us to say.
Okay, but like think about this. This is like the greatest player to ever play the game. So like he's kind of saying like if say MJ and LeBron would go against each other, LeBron would win, right?
Yeah.
Because
like both in their primes?
He's gonna beat MJ. Yeah.
Yeah, I think LeBron would win.
I think so I think he has a point there. But like if you're taking the NBA and how they played as a team, then it would be MJ.
Yeah.
So yeah, it really depends.
So do we want to go to the next one, or Andrew, do you have more to say about this?
I think we can go to the next one.
Is Andrew there?
Anyway, sorry, I just had to grab something.
It's fine.
Okay.
So move on, or you have more to say?
So LeBron, well, he doesn't have as many rings. I think other than that, 2011 run where he basically gave up against the Mavericks and averaged 17 points a game. I think other than that blemish, I think he's had a really impressive run. Like getting to the finals 9 years in a row.
8.
Like 8 years in a row? Yeah, right, it was 8 because he was bad on the Lakers every year. That is still really impressive. Like regardless, that is really impressive.
Mm-hmm.
And he has carried some bad teams.
Oh my God, the Cavs, bro, the Cavs.
Like I think if he hadn't done terrible in that 2011 playoff series, like I think if we redid that, he would have played better. And that the 2015 championship where Kevin Love and Kyrie Irving were hurt, which I guess isn't necessarily completely fair to say. Well, no, I guess it is because I mean losing Draymond in 2016 is not as big as losing K-Love and Kyrie Irving.
Mm-hmm.
But he's done some really impressive things. He took that 2018 team to the finals. Remember the team?
They were not great.
They were a bad team. His second best player was Kevin Love, I think, who was hurt for a large portion of the year. And then he had Jordan Clarkson and Larry Nance. They basically cut
George Hill was good. George Hill was good.
They retooled half the team at the deadline, and he still took them to the finals, and he swept the Raptors in the second round. Like we were supposed to go toe-to-toe with them, and he cooked us, and he hit that crazy shot over OG. I think he's been. I don't want to say he's been more impressive in the finals, but I think he's been more impressive in the finals. Like he has taken some bad teams, like really deep.
I just think he's a better player.
I still think MJ is the greatest of all time because he has 6 rings.
Yeah, same.
He has 6 rings.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think LeBron has done more with less.
All right. So
I still think.
Now we have our next topic, also from Marcus. Not really a hot take, but more of a question that can get some discussion going. So you're down by 1 with 10 seconds left. Who do you want with the ball?
Any player? Current?
I was gonna say my current and my all-time, but if you want to start, you can do that too, I guess.
Oh shoot. Well, I think it comes down to a couple guys. I think LeBron, Kobe, Steph Curry, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, Michael Jordan,
Shaq.
Yeah, I mean, I thought about that, but I mean, like, you could just pack the paint. Like, it's a lot harder to get a pack.
ISO, no. But
like Steph could get to the basket if he had to. Kyrie could get to the basket.
Well, you need somebody who can shoot the threes, shoot the mid, and get to the basket.
Yeah, you need a all-around incredible player. And I say LeBron because LeBron is one of the most clutch players of all time. Like he has better clutch shooting percentages than Mike and Kobe. Like margin.
Oh, actually, I'm taking Kobe. I'm sorry.
Like
he can just score on anybody.
Like, Ben or Arnav, before you say that, because he's like Kobe is like, oh, he's so cool. Like,
no, it's because he can shoot on anybody. No matter how much people you put on him, he'll score the ball.
I'd say Kevin Durant is better at that, but okay.
Nah, Kobe.
Kobe shoots, I think, 30% in clutch time shooting, which doesn't sound good, right? But I mean, still, he's Kobe Bryant, right?
Well, it's a
surely everyone else is just worse than that. Well, LeBron shoots, I believe, 54% in clutch time.
How much less shots has LeBron shot, bro?
LeBron has shot way less. Probably way more, actually. LeBron has probably had many more clutch minutes.
I don't sure about that.
So, well, for me, like, current, I would think, like, Kawhi or...
Oh, Kawhi's a good one.
LeBron.
Yeah, that's a good choice.
And all-time, definitely Kobe, just for me, just because,
he has the reputation.
He has the reputation, but on paper, technically, I wish Kobe was the best shooter of all time, but unfortunately, after running the numbers, that is simply not true. Like, any way you slice it, that's not true.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
All right. So, Arnav, who would you take current?
Probably just, like, Kevin Durant, if he, like, not injured, and then Kobe.
Nice.
It's really
so cool. For the next...
What about me, for God's sake?
You already talked.
Who did I pick, though?
You didn't make your... Okay, fine. Andrew, you can make your final picks now.
We're down by one. Then I'm taking either Steph, Katie, or LeBron. I think I'm going to take LeBron James.
And then all-time?
All-time, I'm going to take LeBron James.
Okay, that's...
All right. That is interesting.
Okay. Efficient. He is the highest.
Are we ready to move on to the next question?
Yeah. All right.
Okay. Next question, also from Marcus. Thank you, Marcus, for all of the stuff. So, what do you guys think an NBA game? Well, what do you guys think the NBA games are going to be like without fans to watch or cheer?
Just like G League games. Like Duncan Rose.
Or WNBA games. They're just like WNBA games.
I mean,
WNBA has fans at least. Like it'll be like a G League game between the Grand Rapids, the team from Grand Rapids and the team from Wisconsin. My point is it's gonna be very quiet and kind of boring.
Aren't they putting the 2K stuff in there?
I'm not sure if that was confirmed.
Yeah, I cannot not confirm nor deny that.
I do not want to hear the squeaks.
I watched I don't know if you guys have been watching the TBT, the basketball tournament. It's been pretty good. There's no fans. The finals are tonight. Or, well, if you're watching this, it's Tuesday night. So it was still interesting to watch. You could hear them talking. Like, a bunch of the players were mic'd up, and the coaches. It was. I liked it.
I love mics. Like when people are mic'd up.
I actually kind of looking forward to see what it's like. But yeah, it's definitely not going to be as loud, as energetic, and even momentum might change. I mean,
I'm very intrigued to see what happens. Like, it's very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I feel like the
there are some players that perform much better without fans. Maybe there are players like Russell Westbrook who will just give up without fans.
Or maybe stop going in, or players like Isaiah Thomas who will stop going into the crowd. Oh, wait, he's not on the team. Never mind.
They'll make smarter decisions instead of showboaty stuff.
Yeah,
Because,
probably no dances, right? Actually, well, still for the TV. I'm sure there'll be
Steph will
some.
probably do still the Steph. No, wait, Steph's not playing. The Warriors are bad.
So,
what about Steven?
what about in Chicago?
Lance Stevenson.
I don't know.
Lance Stevenson was arrested. He's not in the NBA anymore. No,
Josh
Lance
Schroder is
is
the
fun
funniest
and
person
all.
on
Lance to make him dance is fun and all until you realize he's also a domestic abuser, for God's sake.
Okay, so
Thanks
that's
for
what we
ruining
think
Lance
about
Stevenson.
the games without the crowd. So now we have a topic from Anonymous. Thank you for submitting this through Instagram. So, top 3 players all time. Just give me your list. A little explanation. Doesn't have to be too long. But what do you guys got?
That's
Me?
a good question.
Should I go first?
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
I have my top 3 already. So, number 1, Michael Jordan. Number 2, LeBron James. And then number 3, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
And I agree with that. That's what I was thinking too.
Yeah, because
Yeah, same.
so explanations for all 3. Kareem takes the best of both worlds with individual winning and then team winning. Like, he's won lots of championships, and he dominated in 2 different eras. And he also has the most points ever, and
LeBron
he has the
has.
most MVPs ever. He has 6, right?
Yeah.
He's a
But who else were they going to
19-time
choose as MVP?
All-star, for God's sake. Well, I mean, it's still impressive to average 34 points a game for a season. He averaged almost 30 a game as a rookie, okay? That's still impressive. He was an all-star every year except 1 year where he still averaged 25 points a game. He has 11 all-defense. His resume is as good as it gets.
Yep. Most points per game. No, most points ever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's the big one.
The biggest. That's the only reason why he's number 3. I feel like.
For my,
I disagree.
all-time list-
Because like Karl Malone should be higher on a lot of people's lists, but he's not because he didn't do other things. Kareem is high because he did the scoring that someone like Karl Malone did, but he also made 11 all defensive teams and won.
If Karl Malone was in a different time without MJ, he'd get a championship for sure.
Yeah. Okay. So for my list, all time, I have to agree with Andrew. But for current, I'm gonna go Giannis, LeBron, and
current too.
What?
Then I'm going Giannis, LeBron, Kawhi.
Oh, I totally forgot about Kawhi. No, scratch Curry, put Kawhi there.
Oh,
Okay.
when healthy, Curry might be ahead of Kawhi for me.
Maybe. Okay.
Curry
Nav
is-
your lists.
Put up the greatest offensive season ever, which is pretty good.
I'm gonna agree with everybody. I think. I don't think I can make a case for anybody else.
Well, I mean, you could make a case for, Bill Russell, who won 11 championships.
And didn't have any competition at all.
That's not true. That is not true.
Yeah,
He
that's
played
100%
Wilt Chamberlain.
true.
He played the Walt Frazier Knicks. He played a lot of really good teams. He played the 1970s Philadelphia 76ers with Hal Greer and Bobby Jones. That is rated the all-time best team by a panel of, I think, 50 NBA players in the 1990s. They did this panel on who they voted as the best team of all time, and it was the 1970s Philadelphia 76ers. They voted them as the best team of all time.
No.
That team, there are a lot of good teams then. There were Ben or Arnav, it's not like there was Bill Russell was the only good player back then. There was also
two good players back then.
Walt Frazier, Willis
There's 2 good
Reed,
players.
Wilt Chamberlain, Hal Greer. There were a lot of really
There were
good
a lot.
players.
Yeah.
You just don't.
Have you ever
know
seen highlights from that?
Because
that
there
time?
was
There was only 2 players that knew how to play the game.
Ben.
They still
not true.
shot granny shot free throws.
That's not true. I actually haven't seen any. Okay. Arnav, you're just an ignorant young fan.
Okay. So the next hot take
You're
coming
younger
in from
than me.
Marcus, it's our last thing that we're going to be talking about
You're
for today.
objectively wrong.
His hot take is that James Harden is the best one-on-one player of all time.
No, Shaq. I'm taking Shaq.
Oh my gosh. No,
Shaq
like
is not the most talented at all, but I think
No,
dominant.
one-on-one situation, no one's gonna stop Shaq. Nobody. I don't
like
see
think about
a
guys like
single
Kyrie
play.
and like.
Well, I mean, Arnav, when you put it that way, I mean, I guess, but like
Okay, but if
Most
you're gonna take
dominant,
Kyrie Kyrie
one-on-one,
versus Shaq,
LeBron
who's
is
gonna
not.
win? Shaq.
LeBron might
Whoever
not
starts with
stop.
the ball.
Arnav, LeBron might not stop Taco Fall, but Taco
That
Fall's
doesn't
not a
mean
better.
that Taco Fall is the most dominant player in the league.
Yeah, that doesn't
Yeah.
make him better than LeBron in that situation.
But
right?
this is not league. This is one-on-one.
The best
I'm taking
one-on-one
Shaq.
player of all time.
It's Shaq. No question.
See,
No one's
Alright.
gonna stop Shaq. You
Shaq's-
can't
Shaq-
name
okay,
one
but-
person who will stop Shaq.
See, I
I'll
can't
wait.
really disagree with
I'll
you,
wait.
but I can't really agree with you either. Because yes,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
it's like, hey, one of you score a bucket. You'd just give it to Shaq, and he'd use his 300-pound mass to just push everyone, right?
Which is why he's the best one-on-one player.
But like the best
But that doesn't make him the
one-on-one
best. That just makes him the most
skill
dominant.
wise, it could be James Harden.
Like if we scaled down Shaq, like James Harden didn't ask to be 6'6", okay? If we're talking about things that are in his control, James Harden is more talented than Shaquille O'Neal.
But
Shaquille
it's
O'Neal-
not. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about 1v1.
Okay.
One-on-one, it's Shaq.
Yeah.
I'm just
So
gonna
Arnav has
not
Shaq
say
being
Shaq,
the
'cause that
best
makes
player.
the argument boring.
But that's how it is. That's the answer.
Yeah, but what if you have to hit a 3?
You don't. It's a 1v1.
Okay, but he can only do one thing well.
Okay, but that one thing is the most important thing. Like that one thing is unstoppable. No, you're not. Like it's.
Well, I mean,
then
if
nothing's
it
gonna
were
happen.
so
And you're not even
unstoppable, then why
shooting free
didn't he
throws
lead
in
the
this
league
game.
in scoring every year? Well,
Because
It's not
there's-
1v1, it's
no,
5v5.
never mind.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like
We need to wrap this up soon. It's going to be another long podcast.
Ben, I
If
think
you
every
made it here,
episode
though,
is just gonna be
no.
this length. This
If
is
you made
something
it,
we had to come
let
up
me
with.
talk to the people. If you made it here, I'd like to thank you because this is
Yeah,
very
sure.
long, but yeah.
that's a
Yeah, it's
tough
just
So
a
list.
for
bunch
me,
of kids yelling.
I mean, most
Listen.
dominant, I have to agree with him. So, Andrew, is there anything you'd like to say before we
Best one
head
on
out
one.
and
Wrap it up.
say goodbye to the viewers?
Ben, wait, what about Arnav's hot takes? Did he get any?
Yeah, I already said them.
He already said it.
Really? What were they?
No,
Ja
it was
versus
the one,
Zion.
the Ja Zion, but then we already covered it. So,
Mhm.
all
And
right,
there's the
Andrew,
other
do you have
one.
anything to say?
Also, can we do some of our own hot takes? 'Cause I
Not-
have one.
Next episode. This is going to be like an hour and 20 minutes if you keep going.
Ben, that's totally fine. It can be 3 hours.
Nobody's going to watch the entire thing.
You
That's
don't know that.
All right. I'm ending the recording. Thank you all for watching. Episode 3 coming to you next week. Comment if you would like to see 2 episodes a week. And we'll catch you next time on 3 in the Key. Goodbye.
Yeah, yeah.